Hello, and welcome to Women in Business, where we interview entrepreneurs and senior managers and show you the strengths, successes, obstacles, and roadblocks women experience in business. Since I believe every person in business needs to be visible, I'd like to invite you to watch www.sob6, that's the number 6, tips.com, which will give you some valuable information should you get the call to be on radio or TV, which I think is extremely important. If you'd like to contact me personally, drop me a line at Gayle Carson, that's Gayle, Gayle Carson 13 at gmail.com, or go to my website, www.spunkyoldbroad.com, and sign up for my weekly newsletter. I have a really interesting guest for you today. She really shakes your rafters when you speak with her. She is so diverse. She's a marketing gal, and she knows her stuff. She wanted me to say something else, but I can't say it on air. So, formerly a director of marketing in the corporate world, she brings her education, experience, and yes, authenticity to small business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives, helping them craft their marketing message, develop their marketing materials, strategize their marketing efforts, and create or refresh their brand presence in the marketplace. She owns a women's networking organization called Good Old Gals, which I attend when I'm in the area, and produces 2 to 3 large events each year, as she knows that event and exhibit marketing are proven lead generation strategies. Here from Jordan and Jordan Marketing, please welcome Shonna Jordan. How are you, Shonna?
Hi, Gayle. I'm well, thank you.
Good, good. I so enjoy the meetings, but I'm never there on the times that you have them. But when I am, I show up. So let's find out, first of all, how you got started in doing what you do.
Well, after 9/11, I was the director of marketing for a hospitality supply firm. And right after that, we had about $10 million worth of projects either pulled or canceled because people weren't sure what was going to happen in the world. So the business ended up folding, and I had the opportunity at that point to either go back into the corporate world again or start my own business. And I thought, you know what, this is an ideal, I basically looked for the silver lining in the dark cloud and found it. And I decided to start Jordan and Jordan.
Amazing. So you've been in business since 2000 and what?
2002. Been in business since 2002. Yeah.
Wow. I remember when because I was right in the middle of my speaking career, and I had several speaking engagements in St. Louis, of all places. And the first time I got on the plane, which was, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 days after 9/11, I think,
oh, wow.
I think there were 5 of us on the plane. And of course, everybody sat in first class because there were only 5 of us, but the airline wanted to get the planes rolling. And then the second week I went back, there were 12 of us. And then the third week I went back, there were like 25 of us. And then everything went back to normal. But I remember being really impacted by that. So
right.
What's the secret that you think to beating the small business statistics of failure within 2 years and burnout in 5 to 7? And I know burnout can happen because usually an entrepreneur starts it with herself, and then she does everything. She's chief cook and bottle washer, and she just kind of collapses after 5 years. So
right.
What's your secret to beating this?
Well, I think there's a couple of things, actually. One, of course, being a marketing agency, I'm going to say marketing. Marketing and time management for sure. A lot of times people will, when they start a business, they don't really start a business, they create a job for themselves. And as a small business owner, we have to wear so many different hats, like you were mentioning. And so people, tend to, I call it the small business catch-22, which is they work, and they go out and they market and they get the leads and they generate new business, and then they have to do the business, and then they neglect the marketing. So definitely that. And as far as burnout is concerned, you've got to be adaptable. So as times change, as technology obviously has changed over the years, if you don't adapt and change what you do and the service offerings that you provide to keep up with that, then you'll burn out. So those are my secrets.
Well, that's true, and of course, most people hate marketing and they hate sales. I mean, they like the thought of marketing, but they don't like the thought of selling. And of course, nothing happens
Right.
until you make a sale. And you're right. Most people, when they get busy, they have their clients, they stop marketing, they stop selling. And then when that ends, if it's not a continuation kind of client, then they have to start all over again. And it's kind of like a
Exactly.
catch-22. So it's difficult.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I like to tell the story. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to tell a real quick story
tell your story.
Regarding sales and marketing, since you brought that up. With sales, a lot of people think it's a 4-letter word, first of all. They don't want to sell, like you said. But what I talk about is if you can picture two people walking down the street, hand in hand, walking down the sidewalk on a busy street, marketing will be the one yelling, going, "Hey, everybody, come over here, come over here. It's this is the best thing since sliced white bread, et cetera, right?"
Right.
And then when everybody gathers around, marketing tips its hat to sales and says, "Take over." And so if people understand the difference and how they work together, but there are differences, it'll help them to actually close more sales.
Well, that's true. Marketing is all about awareness and bringing people's attention to your product, your brand, your service, and then sales is closing the deal. So that's very important.
Exactly.
So what do most of your clients say about working with you and your agency? Because you're a dynamo, Shonna. You've got your fingers in a lot of different pots, and you're very definitive about what should be done and how it should be done. So what do your clients say about working with you?
Well, first and foremost, when I work with a client, many times it's on their language, meaning their marketing language. What are they saying? Whether it be in person, face-to-face, verbally, via their marketing materials, their website, their social media, whatever marketing that they're doing, we want to start with the message. Like, you cannot define how you're going to present yourself and what you're going to, quote unquote, say to your prospects or potential clients. We need to work on the language. We need to make sure it's resonating. So what my clients will say to me is I've been called the word girl, the marketing guru, the messaging guru, I should say. And so they really, once we sit down and I let them talk. And when they are finished talking about their business, which they find hard to do, most entrepreneurs or small business owners find it very challenging to talk about themselves and their service offerings. So what I do is help them to define that message and craft that message that it would resonate with their prospects. So what they say to me is, "Oh my, I have never even thought about, utilizing that." And then from there, they'll tell me that this marketing stuff really works, because they're saying the right thing. They're saying the right thing, and they're generating the lead that they need. So, and we have a lot of fun doing it. That's a lot of things. My clients will tell me, she's got such great energy. She's really helped me to, get out there, whether it be networking, because I do have a networking organization too. But a lot of times people shy away from doing specific marketing strategies simply because they're either nervous or they're unsure or they're unprepared, meaning they don't know what to say. So they just feel more relaxed and more confident about their business.
Well, I know that you have a lot of things going on and you have events going on, but tell us first of all about the Women's Networking Organization. I assume that's the one that I go to?
Yes, it is Good Old Gals, and it's great, and this is why I say it's great. I call it our answer to the Good Old Boys Network. Meaning that the unwritten club where men will get together, maybe play a couple rounds of, golf, and then they go back and they go to the 19th hole and they sit down, and they understood, and still to this day understand, that if you build that relationship on that level, whether it's, business gets done, whether it's you're just kibitzing about, personal business or personal or business, I should say, once you build that relationship, the business will come. So several of us had sat down and talked about the state of networking in our local area. And we talked about, the good old boys, what do they do? And we also talked about what we liked and didn't like. It was not a complaining session at all. It was just what works for us differently as women. And so we decided to create this networking organization where there are no dues, there are no restrictions, there's no limits. You only pay for what you find beneficial for your business. So like you had mentioned, Gayle, that, when you're in town, you show up. Yeah, that's awesome, because that's all you really have to do is show up. So, and then we built it on the philosophy that women tend to want to support and nurture one another, even if they are in the same industry. So we are also inclusive, which is basically expanding our pool of resources and not being locked into just one category. And this is the person that you go to for printing, and this is the person that you go to for your dentist. You have more options. And so the women tend to absolutely love that. And our motto is together we're better.
Well, it's interesting. I've actually purchased from 3 different vendors there. Number one was a beautiful handbag that I bought that had about 14 different components to it. And then, of course,
nice.
I did a skincare thing and with Cindy. And then the third thing, and of course, the most lasting for me, was I bought a kitty cat. So I took the kitty cat back from San Diego in my arms because she wouldn't stay in the bag I had for her. And I carried her for 5 hours. I didn't eat, I didn't drink, I didn't read anything, I didn't watch a movie. I just held this kitten in my hand for 5 hours, heading back from San Diego to Miami. And now she's 14 pounds and I can't move her. She's so heavy.
Oh.
She's adorable.
Well, we do say there's a dog for that. So no matter what you need, I'm sure that there's a dog for that.
So you also have coming up a program or a convention or a meeting called Mega. Tell us about Mega.
Okay, Mega is Mega. It basically got started when 2 women, it wasn't me, I came in a little bit later after its inception, but these 2 beautiful women each had their own female-focused organizations, and they said, instead of just doing individual mixers where we get together and with our own groups, why don't we bring the 2 groups together? And then they sat down and started thinking about that, and they're like, well, why just our 2 groups? Why not every local organization that wants to participate? And so that's what made it Mega. So it's the Business Women's Mega Mixer. It's a celebration of Women's History Month, and it's pure networking. We do have vendor tables and exhibits, and about 5 years ago, I actually added a fresh element to it with doing our Mega models. And the very first year I did models from 1910 through the future, like 2036. And they each represented a different decade. And it was so much fun. And it was a way for the attendees, the participants in the event, to find out a little bit more about each of those decades and the strides that women had made during that time. And then since then, I've changed the theme every year. This year's theme is, yes, ladies, it is your circus. And it focuses on the different aspects or the different roles that women play on a daily basis. So this year it's like you're a juggler sometimes, you're an acrobat sometimes, you're a ringleader probably all the time, you're a clown sometimes, so all the different characters from a circus, if you think about it, yes, ladies, it really is your circus. So.
Well, it's interesting. I went to it many years ago, not so many, but a few years ago, and it was really quite amazing. I mean, you have a tremendous amount of exhibits there and people who are exhibiting, what they have everything from photography to tea. I mean, it's from A to Z. And
and we still do we still have the collaboration with other women's networking organizations or female-focused businesses. So we still do that. We bring together 15 or 20 different organizations, whether they be pure networking organizations like Good Old Gals or trade associations like NAWIC, which is the National Association of Women in Construction. So it's like, wow, these people are like this, they get to be introduced to a plethora of opportunities for them to meet and engage with other women.
And what I think is very interesting that doesn't happen at many shows like this is that many of the exhibitors buy from other exhibitors. I mean, they love the diversity so much that they end up buying everybody else's products, and you don't normally see that at various trade shows, et cetera. So I think that's very interesting. But it takes a lot, Shonna, to put on these monthly meetings and produce these events. So why do you do it? I mean, you've got your agency and you've got your clientele, and this is a big nut to really bite off.
Yeah, it is. But I find I find it enjoyable for me, and because I entered into producing events to provide a platform for women and small business owners. I do talk a lot about women, but men are invited to come to the mega mixer, just so brave men, I call them. All women and brave men are welcome to attend the mega mixer. But I just think that it's important for someone to provide that platform for women to connect with one another. As I mentioned about the philosophy with my networking organization, we tend to want to support and nurture and encourage one another. So having that opportunity and providing that space and holding that space for them, it just and watching them glow, like, oh, I made so many connections and I found new resources and I can't wait to try out this new networking organization. I mean, everybody's just, so this is great. And it's a high energy atmosphere. I do not want it to be I pride myself on my events being high energy, but also laid back and no pressure. So it's like, even if you're visiting an exhibit, it's a getting to know you thing. It's exchanging information. It's not high pressure, and it's very, very more. I like to say that my events and my women's networking meetings embrace the social side of business. Remember, I talked about building the relationship and the business will come. That's what I talk about. And that's why I do what I do.
So if you could give a tip to our listeners today about marketing or events or networking, what would it be?
Oh, wow. I would have to say, since we were talking about events, is that each business owner needs a diverse marketing mix. And part of that marketing mix should be participating in events in some way, whether that's taking an exhibit table, just attending it, reaching out to the producer of the event to see how they can be involved. How can I make the most of this? Because, as you mentioned in the intro, event marketing and exhibit marketing is an amazing lead generation strategy for small business owners. So I would say have a diverse marketing mix and don't negate a strategy just because maybe one time it didn't work or you weren't sure. Get out there and continue to market and, go to events, exhibit at events, attend meetings, meet people. That's what I would say. I would say that's my big tip. Don't, get that marketing mix together and get out there.
It's so funny because I am a big networker and I go to more events than anybody I know. People are always telling me, why do you go so many events at your age and your length in business and so forth? I say, because, you can always learn something. You meet new people. It's interesting. You gain some knowledge. But there are a lot of people who don't like networking. So what do you say to people like that?
Well, that would take me back to what I was sharing with when you asked me about what my clients say. I would say if they don't like networking, first of all, figure out why. Is it that they don't know what to say or they're shy, whatever that may be? So figure out why you don't like to go to events or networking, and then make sure that you have your marketing message crafted. Make sure that you're comfortable with introducing yourself and presenting yourself out there. So a lot of times with just having a little bit of a lack of confidence, that message, knowing it and feeling it and owning it will help you to make that first step.
And, folks, that's where someone like Shonna comes into play for you, because I can't tell you how many people get up when they said, well, everybody get up and tell what you do, and they can't get the message out. They can't get it out in 10 words or less, or even 30 words or less. And they stumble, stumble, stumble. And it's very important. Let people know what you do, but do it in an interesting way so they want to know, tell me more, because it isn't just I'm a bookkeeper or I'm an accountant or it's I save people X number of hours a month with their paperwork
Exactly.
or whatever, but something that's interesting. And that makes it, I think, a very important thing. Well, first of all, tell us about this mega event, when it is. And I think that you're offering the first 10 people who are listening who text mega ticket to you, and we'll give them the number in a little bit, they're going to get a free general admission ticket. So when is the event and where is it?
Okay, the event is going to be the end of Women's History Month, which is Tuesday, March 31st, and it'll be from 5:30 to 8:30 for general admission, and VIPs get in an hour earlier for a great private wine tasting, separate, like an exclusive caterer. So VIP tickets, they get in at 4:30, and they get early access to the exhibit hall where they can start visiting the exhibitors before the big rush of all the attendees that come in. So it's Tuesday, March 31st, and it's going to be at QLN Conference Center in Oceanside. So this is about a 12,000 square foot room that we are in, and it's their exhibit hall, and it's amazing.
Fantastic. That sounds great. So if you are interested if you're in that Southern California area near Oceanside, San Diego area, then if you will text and get your pencils ready, because I'm going to give you the phone number to text to, it's 760-310-3827. And if you text MEGA, MEGA, ticket to that number, and you're one of the first 10, you'll get a free general admission ticket. So that's something that you probably should be doing if you live in that area. So
absolutely.
What are the tickets regularly, Shonna, so people will know?
General admission tickets are $25. The VIP tickets are $50. And our tables are only $250, but the first 20 tables that are registered get $50 off. So you can get your exhibit table for $200 if you were interested in a table. But yeah, I tend to give away the farm sometimes. So this year I'm only giving away 10 free tickets.
Okay, well, supposing somebody got one of these free tickets and wanted to upgrade to VIP, could they do that?
Yes, we can provide a special link for them to just pay the difference. Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. Great. Well, I have one last question for you, and that is, what gets you out of bed in the morning?
The smell of fresh brewed coffee.
That's right.
No,
drinker. Yes, I know that.
In addition to that, just knowing that I have one more day, one more opportunity to help small business owners market their business and become successful.
And that's a big why, that's a big why to get out of bed, because, it's so hard. It's so competitive in today's world. It is so important to know all the tricks of the trade. And Shonna's got them. I mean, she knows the way to get into people's heads and minds and their business. So it's something you should pay attention to. So I'm going to give you that number again, so you have it. If you live in that Southern California area, you're close to San Diego, Oceanside area, and you'd like to go to this mega event, which I think even if you're, in your Orange County area, it's worth the drive, because there's really a lot going on there. Text 760-310-3827 and text it with mega ticket. So
and your full name. I need the full name too.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, and your name, your full name. So hopefully you'll get a good response to that.
That'd be awesome.
We've got about a minute and a half left, Shonna. Is there anything we haven't talked about that you'd like to mention to our listeners?
I think we've covered everything. I just want to encourage everybody that if you are an entrepreneur or you are a business owner, Please focus on your marketing. Make sure your messaging is clear. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to have a half-hour discovery call with you at no cost.
Fantastic. Well, there's another one for you. If you're interested in having a discovery call with her, you can text, I guess, the same number, and then she'll be in touch with you. I just think, and if you're interested in going to her website to see what she's all about, it's Jordan, right? Jordan and Jordan, or jordanjordan.com.
jordanjordan.com.
jordanjordan.com. Now, that's not hard to to remember. Well, this has really been a treat, Sean. I'm glad we were able to catch up with you and make this happen. Hopefully, I will see you once again when I'm there, when you're there at your meeting.
Yes.
And, we'll be able to connect at that point. So thanks so much for being with us today.
Hi, this is Dr. Gayle, and I wanted you to know I have a whole bunch of other things to offer you. If you go to spunkyoldbroad.com, you will see an array of SOB stuff for sale and all our latest products and additions. If you're interested in getting on TV, I have a brand new course, Get on TV. And if you want to start your own business, you'll want my SOB Guide to Business Success. I know you'll love them all. I guarantee it.
Thanks for listening to Women in Business. I hope you enjoyed today's show. And if you have any suggestions as to who you'd like me to have as a guest, just email me at gaylecarson13@gmail.com. Be sure to check out www.sob6tips.com. And in the meantime, go to www.spunkyoldbroad.com to see the resources I have for you.